Hello students. Previously you learned about how to solve one-step equations, and today we're going to be taking it one step further and we're going to be solving two-step equations. So, what is a two-step equation? A two-step equation is an algebraic equation that takes two steps to solve it. Just like a one-step equation, the equation is solved when you get the variable by itself with no numbers in front of it on one side of the equal sign. For example, x equals 3. So there are going to be two main steps when solving for two-step equations. The first is to simplify using the inverse, which just means opposite, of addition or subtraction. The second is going to be to simplify further by using the opposite of multiplication or division. There are a few things that I want you to remember before we get started. Everything you do on one side, you must do on the opposite side. And always, always, always double check your work. So let's get started. So the first question we have is 3x minus 2 equals 13. So when I said I wanted you to simplify using the inverse of addition or subtraction, I was talking about with this number here. You're always going to start off with the number with no variable. So if we have minus 2, we're going to add 2. And of course, what we do on that side, we have to do on this side. So negative 2 or minus 2 and plus 2 are going to cancel each other out. So you're going to be left with 3x equals 15. So the next step, we're going to be focusing on the number with the variable. And we're going to use the opposite of multiplication or division. So since we have 3x, that's basically like saying 3 times x. So we're going to do the opposite of that, which is divide by 3. And you should be left with x equals 5. So I'm going to show you how to double check your work. So since we already believe that the answer is 5, we're just going to take this equation and plug in the number and make sure that it works. I'm not going to do this on every question. I'm just going to do it on the first, and I want you to pause the video and you double check and make sure. And if we do have a wrong answer, I want you to bring it to my attention later on in class. So now we have 3 times 5 minus 2 equals 13. So 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 2 is 13. So that answer is correct. And we can move on to the next question, which is 5 plus 4x equals 29. So I don't want you to get confused because it is set up a little bit different, but you're still going to be starting with this number with no variable. And this is like saying plus 5 because it's a positive. So we're going to do the opposite, which is subtract 5. This is going to cancel each other out, and we're going to be left with 4x equals 24. And then, of course, we divide by 4 on both sides, and we're going to be left with x equals 6. So again, I want you to pause the video and double check that, but I'm going to move on to the next question. So next we have negative 8 equals 6 minus 2x. The first step is going to be to subtract that 6 from both sides. This is going to cancel out, so we're going to be left with negative 14 equals negative 2x. So now we have to divide that negative 2. Always make sure you bring your signs with you. And a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So negative 14 minus negative 2 is going to be positive 7. So the answer is x equals 7. Next, we have 25 equals 4 minus 7x. We're going to subtract that 4 from both sides. Subtract, which is going to leave us with 21 equals negative 7x. And then we have to divide. And 21 divided by negative 7 is going to be negative 3 equals x. So let's move on. We have one more, maybe. And this one looks a lot different from the ones that we just did, but it's still very easy. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. Which is going to leave us with x divided by 3 equals 9. And then since this is x divided by 3, the rational thing to do is to multiply. So we're going to multiply by 3, and that's going to cancel out. And we multiply by 3 over here, and we are left with x equals 27. Let me just clear the screen. So these are a few extra practice questions that I want you to complete. If you turn these in next class, answer correctly, you will be given extra credit. They're just like the ones that we did during this video, so if you need help, just keep coming back to the video and you should be able to solve them. If not, then I can definitely help you during class. So we're going to end this video with a quote of the day. And today's quote is, "The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics." This is just a fancy way of saying practice makes perfect. So that's exactly what I want you guys to do. Keep striving for perfection and keep working hard, and eventually you will get it. And if you need help, remember, I am always here. Thank you for tuning in. Next class, we will be learning about how to solve 3-step equations. It's not as hard as it sounds. Just hang in there, and I got you. Have a nice day.